get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
On one, ready?
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
On 2nd and 7. Burrow, man open, that's Jamar. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. Finding room at midfield. Down the sideline he goes. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. So this defense clicking early in the year, week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They had the auspicious beginning to the season, a first drive turnover. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Here we go, here we go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
11.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that is incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Now it's Burrow. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Here we go. Here we go.
They will throw on first down with Burrow. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
On one, ready?
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Here we go, here we go.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
11.
Burrow looking to pass. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Pickett leads his Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their own 13. Pickett to throw on first down. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up second down. Well, there you go, Charles, the first completed pass of his young career.
And we expect it not to be his last. Very good to get the first one out of the way, though, as he begins his career.
Here's the leading rusher amongst rookies last season, Najee Harris. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Yeah, he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
In what many term is a down year for rookie quarterbacks, the Steelers took Pickett 20th overall because they knew him better than any other quarterback in the draft. They consider him the most pro-ready passer in the class. He's got plenty of gunslinger in him as well. You give him an inch of space to make a throw, he's going to try and make it into a mile.
Harris going to get it again on second down. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. Here's Pickett. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? And turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
The question for Mixon was after an injury-riddled 2020. Would he be back to his old self in 2021? And not only was he back, he was even better. He set career highs across the board Finished top 4 league-wide in yardage and touchdowns.
Now Burrow on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
On second down, here's Mixon. And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
On third down, Burrow. And that will be incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Here's Austin. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Another completion there, and you think about the draft back in the spring. He's selected in the first round, getting the start here, as we mentioned, in week 1. It's got to be quite a whirlwind for a young quarterback.
Absolutely, because going in the first round, people are going to clamor for you to be the starter right away, but many teams want you to get your feet wet first, maybe just kind of hang out behind a veteran starter. In this case, though, he ascended right to the top role, and I know he's excited about the opportunity.
Off play action, Pickett. He sets to fire deep. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. George Pickens with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Steelers go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that'll make the score 14-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Brandon Wilson now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of the...
This is intercepted. But when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. They'll run again with Harris. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
In lieu of the sneak on 4th and inches, they just say, give it to the big man in the backfield.
Yeah, fullback no less. Not many of those left in the NFL, but for those that have one, perfect time to use them, perfect time to get it done.
He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Back to throw. Pickett. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. He's going to look deep down the field. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Boswell's kick is good. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
From his end zone, Wilson.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Mixon with a first down carry. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Gun.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, gotta go.
A give running left, McAllister. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
11 MT tape. 11 MT tape.
On third down, they'll run it with McAllister. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bengals are able to cut into that deficit. Evan McPherson for the extra point. And it's 17-7. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25. Austin not going to try and return it. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week one. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
With Harris out of the shotgun. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Two things to watch. First, his strength and being able to break out that initial contact. But at his size, once you slow his momentum, it's hard for him to get it started again and end up tackling him behind the line of scrimmage.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Pickett. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Pickett now from the gun here. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13. First and 10, here's Pickett. 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
Another completion there, and what a big moment in a young quarterback's life, that first NFL start. And Charles, obviously they want him to win games, but if they're looking at him under a microscope in this first month or so, what do you think they're hoping to see from him?
Well, for every question they'll have for him, they should have for themselves as a coaching staff, because it's not just how quickly can he learn the offense, it's what they can teach him, right? How can he build a relationship with his receivers? And, of course, how open is he to learning? And, of course, how open are they to giving him things that he can put in place on the field?
Let's go now.
Harris running straight ahead, and he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Harris. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's 3rd and goal. They'll try and run with Harris. And this time he is in.
Yes.
So the second down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
Here we go. 11 mighty. 11 mighty. 11, 11, 11. 12, 12, 12. 11, 11, 11.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And they're going to be waiting for him as they get him behind the line. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaunton, getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. The 40. Past the 20. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Steelers.
That was a special return. And it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times where they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Burrow will throw. Open man is Chase, complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. It's Mixon on the counter. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Well, this opening game has certainly not gone their way to this point. But, yeah, that touchdown, maybe a glimmer of hope for the long season ahead.
And no one in this league likes to talk about moral victories. No one likes to really just say, okay, well, maybe something went right. But you're exactly right about that. A little glimmer there.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And the Bengals are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
Pickett sets up play action. Trying to lay one up deep. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 73 yards. And the Steelers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Boswell good with the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it. Watch.
Throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter, it would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Again, it's Harris on second down.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Here we go, strike.
Throwing on third down. Here's Pickett.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, I think he's as fine with that incompletion as a quarterback can be, in all honesty. He avoided his first sack of the game, and he did have a chance of connecting for yardage, just unable to on that throw.
This is taken at about the 14. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return.
And the Bengals take over, 1st and 10.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
11.
Mixing up the middle.
And he can muster only a couple here to the 24. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on third down.
11 mighty.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it.
Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it.
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Bengals. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Very short kick taken right at the 20.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. Pickett now to throw off the play fake.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
Well, this certainly feels like complimentary football to me, partner, because the momentum from the team's touchdown drive looks like it's made its way over to the defense. They're working together in tandem now. Offense gets in the end zone. Defense with a big sack on the first play to follow.
He's got a man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 39 yards there, a big one. Hey, they made no bones about it. They wanted to throw this rookie right into the fire, see what he could do. He shows what he can do there.
And you have to really put the time and effort in because Playing a receiver in the NFL is a difficult task, and for a rookie, all that you have to learn to get on the same page with your quarterback, that's excellent coaching, and how about how he's picked things up?
Picking things up in a big way with a big play in his NFL debut. So he stopped for no gain, and that's going to bring up second down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Throwing again on second down. Pickett. Again, it's Johnson. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he'll get this one down to about the 27. DJ Reader there on the tackle.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. He'll buy some time right. He gets it complete to Harris. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. They'll try the right side with Harris. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Harris. And this time they were waiting for him, as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. On second down, this is Harris. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Steelers are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And they open the lead up now to 25. From his end zone, Wilson. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
11 MT, 11 MT. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Once again, they run with Mixon. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 110 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now it's Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal 1st down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
To about the 35, 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Thomas.
From the 35 on second down, Burrow. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
Here's Burrow. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. And the Steelers are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll start on the ground with Harris. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
He had to fight for every yard on that run, shook himself free of a tackle, and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 4. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And some room to roam now. And they will finally get to him down at the Bengals 15. And that flag accepted. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From the gun on 3rd down, Pickett dancing to his left. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down as that was not an easy one to hold on to. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want.
Now a hit and a loose football.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. If there was one knock on Joe Burrow coming out of LSU, you know, it was arm strength, but kind of put those doubts to rest right there. From the red zone now, here's Burrow 1st down. And they're going to get him. He's sagged back around the 28.
11.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score.
On one, ready?
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line.
More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it.
And the Steelers are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down.
Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he can do there. And he winds up giving the ball away.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They run again with Harris. And he'll take this one up to about the 23.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Steelers, hey, you get a win, you get it on the road. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots.